Senator Tuberville joins us now from the great state of Alabama, also Coach Tuberville. And, Senator, appreciate you making the time for us. Clay is out, so you've got a sports SEC football novice with you on the radio today, but we can talk some politics if you're cool with that.
I'm good with anything, especially the sports part in the SEC. I'm pretty well versed in that, as you well know, Buck.
Well, somehow, Clay's not here to explain himself on this one, but of the two college football games that I have ever gone to see, two of them both had Alabama in them. I am just saying that is the thing that happened. So you have to take that up. You have to take that up with Clay. So let's dive into first of all, I know you're running for governor, which is very exciting. I want to talk to you about that. But tell me this: the Senate package or the Senate part of the big, beautiful bill. What are your feelings on this? Because there are people who are. It's one thing when the people who don't like Trump don't like something Trump does. They don't like anything he does, right? As he said, he could cure cancer, that all of a sudden they'd be pro-cancer. But there are people who are very pro-Trump, including on the Senate side, who are saying, you know what? This is something that should be, let's say, tinkered with a little bit on the cutting side. What do you say?
Yeah, 100%. It's going to be some adjustments. It never was going to happen to where the House did their version, they sent it over, and we were just going to rubber stamp it. That's not going to happen. First of all, we have what we call the Byrd Rule, and it has to go to the parliamentarian, anything that comes into this package, and some of it probably won't pass through the Byrd Rule. And any changes, if there's one change at all, it has to go back to the House. There's several things that other people are very concerned about. One that I'm concerned about is we did not do away with, to me, enough of the Green New Deal giveaways through the Inflation Reduction Act. Now, why in the world would we continue to give money away when we shouldn't? Again, they'll probably have to be adjusted in some form or fashion.
What is in there on that specific? Because I've seen the people say the Green New Deal giveaway. Is it just a lot of money that the Democrats set up in the COVID era that goes to wind farms, or what is the giveaway part of it?
Exactly, solar farms, subsidies, rebates. Same thing with wind farms, rebates. Also with EV cars, rebates. And, for any other car, and I don't have an electric car, I pay full price, and as so do many, many, many other people in this country. We're continuing to push the EV car, and I'm fine with the EV car. But at the end of the day, we're going to have to get on the same page with this, along with the gas-burning cars, and if you want whichever one you want, fine. But the government shouldn't have to pay any of that. So there should be an adjustment to that. There'll probably be some more adjustments, probably Medicaid, Medicare. I'm not for any cuts, but I am for reform. Is there enough reform in there? Are the work requirements, as they've got it structured as we speak, for Medicaid work requirements, which I think everybody's for, everybody that's Republican. The problem is the work requirements don't start for about 3 or 4 years. What are we waiting for? I mean, we got to get it done and get it over with and get people back to work and get people in a situation where we can cut back on the money that's spent to people that shouldn't be getting on Medicaid and Medicare. So at the end of the day, we'll look at it starting on Monday. We'll go through it line by line, try to make it the best we possibly can. We want President Trump to have his bill, have it done soon. But that's a problem when we put everything in one bill, Buck. If we'd have done 2 separate bills, it would have been a lot different. We could have done the tax version and got it out of the way already, and then we could have done everything else to this point, and it would have been less of a problem. But when you put it all together, we all knew it was going to be this situation, but eventually it will get done.
It will get done. That's certainly good news. Why do you think they didn't do the 2 bills? Is this just all because of the super narrow margin on the House side in particular, that there was no leeway to change some of the structure here? Because I can understand, given all the political capital that Trump has, and that there's a Democrat opposition that feels like it's barely even relevant in the conversation these days. I know they still have a lot of votes. I know there are a lot of Democrats out there. but they're not finding effective ways to oppose the Trump agenda. I feel like there's a bit of concern that this is the best moment, and this moment isn't being used to its fullest to put us on sound fiscal footing.
Yeah, first of all, the Democrats are trying to block everything that we're doing, trying to slow anything they possibly can down in terms of nominations or any kind of bill like this. They're trying to throw a kink into the wheel, try to put a nail in the tire and slow us all down. But at the end of the day, if you look at it, the people that actually are ones that are supposed to be throwing up the budget is the House. The House has a very slim margin. They're the one that marketed this to President Trump. This is how we want to do it. This is the process in which we can get it through the House, and then the Senate has a few more votes to where they can work with. I can understand that, but by doing that, this thing is maybe the biggest bill in the history of bills, and so it's got more things in there, more moving parts, and so it just takes longer. But again, we're going to get this done for the president. He needs it. He deserves it. He's worked at it. The House may have to take it back and readjust some things after we finish it with it, and the Byrd Rule, the parliamentarians. So it doesn't cut enough money. At the end of the day, President Trump knows that. 1.5 trillion, which is only 150 billion a year for 10 years. This is a 10-year bill. It's got to. He's even said this: we've got to cut back on spending, and we've got to grow the country. He's going to grow the country by tariffing people all over the world to get manufacturing back. I get a visit or two a week in my office in D.C. about manufacturing companies wanting to come back to the state of Alabama, which is great. But at the end of the day, we have to cut back on this enormous spending, $2 trillion more a year than what the American taxpayers send in. We can't physically put two and two together and make any of this work unless we cut back a little bit more of what the Republicans have in there now in terms of the bill coming from the House.
Speaking to Senator Tommy Tuberville, and Senator, you announced yesterday on my friend Will Kane's show that you are running for governor in the great state of Alabama. What's leading to that transition in your political future, and also let's get into some of what I think of Alabama. Like you don't have the problems in Alabama that they do in places like California when it comes to Democrats being in charge, right? So I'd be very curious to know what the agenda is that you would want to pursue as the governor.
Yeah, Alabama's a huge Donald Trump state, and I was going to run for governor 7, 8, 9 years ago when President Trump first got in, but we had Governor Ivey had just gone in. I said, I'm not going to do that, and President Trump encouraged me to run for the Senate, and I did. And we won pretty handily on the backs of President Trump. And we've been up, and it's probably good. I've learned a lot. I've met a lot of people. It's all about contacts. It's like coaching. Same thing in coaching. It's all about contacts and knowing people. Same thing in politics. Then President Trump, in his agenda, he is pushing and changing things in D.C. and moving more money and power back to the states. Now, I'll be with President Trump another year and a half. And after that point, hopefully I can win this governorship where I can move into the governor's role here in the state of Alabama and take that power and the money that he's going to send back to the states to help make Alabama a better place to live, a better place to work, and a better place to raise a family. So I think it's all working out perfectly time-wise. But again, we got a lot of work to do, and I'll spend 90% of my time in D.C. working towards President Trump's agenda for the next year and a half. After that point, we will really know the structure of what he's going to be able to get done with this Congress, and hopefully we can maintain the House and the Senate along with the White House in the next Congress. So I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a challenge. I'll have to work. I don't mind campaigning. I really like it, but we need to continue the same values and in education and immigration and law-abiding citizens as what President Trump is trying to push all over the country.
Senator Tuberville, the team has pointed out that it is only right, it is only fair that I tell Clay this time if I join him on the road during football season that I go see the illustrious Auburn Tigers. What is the best? Yeah. Should I go see Auburn against Alabama? That would mean I'm 3 for 3 at Alabama games, but we know the Auburn Tigers will, of course, emerge victorious in that. Is that the best game? Because I could pretty much go to any game.
Well, it's one of the best games in the country all year long. I don't care whether it's college or high school or NFL. Is the Iron Bowl. As much going on around the stadium and before the game than what happens during the game. And there's so much riding on it for the in-state rival. But, we have LSU and other teams that come to Auburn. But you can't miss any SEC game across the South is always great to watch. I've been involved in many of them when I was at Ole Miss, and same at Auburn. I've been to a lot of Alabama games in the last few years. I went with President Trump a couple of times. They're all fun, and that's the reason that I'm really fighting hard to try to solve this NIL problem, because the thing that makes college football great, especially in the SEC, is the fan base and the enthusiasm, and we do not want to lose that when it comes to college sports, and NIL has a opportunity to upset that apple cart if we don't get some answers to it.
How do you fix that? The name and likeness issue for college. How do you fix that?
Well, money's is the cat's out of the bag, and I don't mind kids making money, but we gotta have some structure. There's no structure to contracts. There's no structure. You cannot allow men or women to transfer every year for $25,000, $100,000 just because of money. It's about education. And again, if you come to a place and you come for money, fine, but you've got to work towards an education, and you can't every year shop yourself around for more money. That's not what this should be all about. And again, players should make money. There should be revenue sharing. NCAA dropped the ball on that. But at the end of the day, we have got to put some validity to this, because there's going to be donor fatigue coming up, because we can't. Some of these schools are spending $20, $30, $40 million a year on their teams, and that's not going to last. And again, as I said earlier, the number one thing that makes college sports, and especially football in the South, popular is the fan base, and the fans aren't going to put up with it. You're going to start losing season ticket sales, and every year you go to a game now, you don't know who's on the team. There's no loyalty.
Senator Tuberville, appreciate you being with us, sir.
All right, Buck. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. If you're like most folks, you'll be thinking about what would be a great Father's Day gift, and here's one you can feel really good about: the Cardia Mobile 6L. It's the world's first FDA-cleared personal EKG. It can detect AFib, a leading cause of stroke. Cardia Mobile 6L is a small device. You can carry it in your pocket. No more having a heart symptom and then making a doctor's appointment, only be at the doctor's office and everything is fine. With Cardia Mobile, the second you feel a heart symptom, the device records it and sends the data to your doctor. Cardia Mobile is the perfect way for your dad to manage his heart health at home between doctor's visits. It's small, easy to use, and records right to his phone. He gets 6 views of his heart. That's 6 times the data of any smartwatch at a fraction of the cost. Give the gift of peace of mind for the dads in your life, or even just for yourself. Now, for a limited time, Cardia is giving 10% off. Just go to Cardia.com, that's Kardia.com, or Amazon, and use code 106LCLAY. That's code 106LCLAY when you go to Cardia, Kardia.com. You can also find this information at clayandbuck.com on the sponsor page.